Welcome, friends, to a journey of transformation through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. I'm here to guide you through 10 powerful Stoic habits that can reshape your life as we step into 2025. Imagine facing every challenge with unshakable calm, turning chaos into clarity, and living with purpose no matter what the world throws at you. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy born from the minds of thinkers like Zeno of Citium and Seneca, offers practical tools that remain just as relevant today as they were over 2 millennia ago. As we navigate the noise of modern life, stress, uncertainty, and endless distractions, these habits promise a path to resilience and peace. I've seen how these principles can shift one's perspective, much like they did for the Stoic philosophers who faced empires and personal turmoil with steady hearts. Together, we'll explore how to cultivate mental strength, embrace adversity, focus on what truly matters. From negative visualization to seeking virtue above all, each habit builds a foundation for a life of meaning. Picture yourself in 2025, not just surviving, but thriving, equipped with a mindset that transforms obstacles into opportunities. Let's dive deep into these practices, blending ancient wisdom with actionable steps for today's world. Whether you're overwhelmed by work, relationships, or the sheer pace of life, these Stoic habits are your roadmap to a calmer, more grounded existence. I'll share stories, both historical and modern, that illuminate how these principles work in practice. Are you ready to transform your 2025? Let's begin. What if you could face any challenge in 2025 with unshakable calm and transform your life completely? Imagine navigating the chaos of modern life, stress, uncertainty, endless distractions, with a steady heart and a clear mind. Today, I'm going to reveal 10 powerful Stoic habits rooted in ancient wisdom that can make this your reality. These aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools from thinkers who mastered resilience centuries ago, and they're more relevant now than ever. Whether you're battling self-doubt or striving for purpose, these habits can guide you to a stronger, more centered version of yourself. Stay with me as we dive into a philosophy that has shaped great minds and can shape your future. Let's unlock a life of clarity and strength together for the year ahead. Let me paint a picture that might feel all too familiar. In today's world, chaos seems to be around every corner. We're bombarded with endless notifications, drowning in stress from work deadlines, and constantly comparing ourselves to the curated lives we see on social media. It's as if we're running on a treadmill that never stops, always chasing, always reacting, but rarely feeling in control. Have you ever felt that knot in your stomach, worrying about a future you can't predict or a mistake you can't undo? I've been there too, and I know how exhausting it is to feel powerless against the weight of these pressures. Fear of failure looms large, and instead of responding with clarity, we often let emotions drive impulsive decisions that only deepen the mess. This isn't just a personal struggle. It's a shared reality for so many of us navigating the fast-paced, unpredictable nature of modern life. But what if there was a way to step off that treadmill, to face this chaos? That's where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes in, offering a lifeline to transform how we see and handle these daily storms. As I look back at the roots of Stoicism, I find myself transported to the bustling streets of Athena, a city echoing with the voices of ancient thinkers who sought clarity amidst chaos. It was here that Stoicism was born, offering a timeless antidote to life's uncertainties. Imagine living in a world where marketplaces buzzed with endless distractions, and yet these philosophers taught a radical idea. True peace comes from within, not from the world around us. They urged us to focus only on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and to let go of the noise beyond our grasp. In today's world, this principle feels more relevant than ever. We're bombarded by social media, endless notifications, and pressures. It's a simple shift, yet profound. Learning to release the external chaos and anchor ourselves in what we can shape. This ancient wisdom from Athena isn't just history. It's a guide for navigating our modern struggles, a beacon to reclaim our inner strength. As I look at the struggles of modern life, I can't help but notice how many of us feel trapped, caught in a cycle of overwhelming emotions and endless external pressures. We live in a world that demands our attention every second. Emails piling up, social expectations weighing us down, and unforeseen challenges knocking at our door. Without a disciplined mindset, it's easy to lose ourselves, to react impulsively instead of responding with clarity and purpose. The truth is, without a shift in how we approach these storms, we remain at their mercy, unable to find peace or direction. This is the core challenge we face. How do we break free from this chaos? How do we transform inner turmoil into strength? Stoicism offers us a way forward, a philosophy forged in the fires of adversity by ancient thinkers who understood human struggle. It teaches us that true freedom comes not from changing the world around us, but from mastering our own minds. And that's why the habits we're about to explore are not just ideas. They're essential tools to reclaim control and build a life of resilience, no matter what 2025 throws our way. As I look at the struggles we face in this fast-paced, often overwhelming world, I can't help but see the urgent need for a different approach, a way to reclaim control and find clarity amidst the chaos. This is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism comes in, not as a distant, dusty philosophy, but as a living, breathing guide for transformation. I've come to realize that Stoicism isn't just about enduring suffering. It's about thriving through practical habits that reshape how we think and act. Today, I want to share with you 10 powerful Stoic habits that can serve as your personal roadmap to resilience and purpose, especially as we step into 2025, a year full of unknowns, but brimming with potential. These habits are not complex rituals or unreachable ideals. They are simple, actionable steps that anyone can adopt, no matter where you are in life. Whether you're battling stress, uncertainty, or simply seeking a deeper sense of meaning, these practices, rooted in timeless Stoic principles, promise to help you rise above external pressures and focus on what truly matters. Imagine facing each day with a steady mind, unshaken by the noise around you. That's the power of these habits, and together, we'll explore how they can redefine your life, starting right now. Let me share with you the first powerful Stoic habit that can transform how you face life's uncertainties. Practicing negative visualization, or as the ancient Stoics called it, premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about preparing your mind for challenges before they strike. Imagine the philosophers of ancient Hellenia walking through bustling markets, yet quietly contemplating the loss of their possessions or loved ones. Why? To build resilience. They understood that by visualizing the worst-case scenario, they could strip fear of its power and face reality with clarity. Now, apply this to your life in 2025. Picture a tough work meeting ahead. Instead of dreading it, sit for a moment and imagine it going poorly. The criticism, the tension. Then ask yourself, can I handle this? Most often, you'll realize you can. This mental rehearsal doesn't just brace you for hardship. It frees you to act with confidence, knowing you've already faced the storm in your mind. Try this daily. Spend a few minutes envisioning a challenge and how you'll endure it. And watch how your perspective shifts from anxiety to strength. Let's dive into the second powerful Stoic habit, focusing on what you can control. As I've come to understand through the teachings of Stoicism, one of the most liberating ideas is the dichotomy of control. This principle teaches us to pour our energy only into our thoughts, our actions, and our responses, not into outcomes or the whims of others. I often think of Emperor Titus Maro, a figure inspired by the great Stoic thinkers, who ruled with a steady hand despite chaos surrounding him. Legend has it that during a brutal campaign, when supplies dwindled and morale sank, Titus didn't lament the weather or the enemy's strength, things beyond his grasp. Instead, he focused on rallying his troops with courage and ensuring every decision reflected his values. That's the Stoic way. Today, we face our own battles, deadlines, misunderstandings, or unexpected setbacks. I've found it transformative to pause each morning and list 3 things I can control: my effort, my attitude, and my words. It's a small act, but it shifts everything. Imagine applying this daily. What if instead of worrying about a colleague's opinion, you focused solely on doing your best? This habit anchors you, reminding you that true power lies within. Try it. Write down one controllable action right now, and watch how your perspective changes. Let's turn to a habit that lies at the heart of Stoic transformation: daily reflection. I've come to see this practice as a quiet anchor in the storm of life, a moment to step back and truly understand myself. Stoics, drawing from the wisdom of ancient thinkers like Seneca, believe that we must examine our actions and emotions each day to grow. They would sit in the stillness of evening, pondering, Did I act with virtue today? Where did I falter? How can I do better tomorrow? Imagine a philosopher in the torchlit chambers of ancient times, scribbling thoughts on parchment, not to vent, but to learn. This wasn't mere diary keeping. It was a deliberate act of self-mastery. Now, apply this to our modern world. I suggest taking just 5 minutes each night to jot down a few notes. Ask yourself, what went well today? What tested my patience or resolve? How did I respond? And what can I improve? This simple act builds awareness, helping us see patterns in our behavior. Over time, it's like holding up a mirror to the soul, revealing where we stray from our values and guiding us back. It's not about perfection, but progress. Daily reflection turns chaos into clarity, one night at a time. Let's explore a Stoic habit that might seem counterintuitive at first, but holds immense power. Embracing voluntary discomfort. I've often found that the ancient Stoics, in their wisdom, understood something deeply human: our tendency to grow complacent in comfort. They believed that by willingly stepping into small hardships, we train ourselves to face life's inevitable challenges with grit and composure. Now, let's bring this into our modern lives. What does voluntary discomfort look like in 2025? It could be as simple as skipping your morning coffee for a day, taking a cold shower instead of a warm one, or walking instead of driving for a short errand. These small acts push us out of our comfort zones. They teach us to endure, to adapt, and to realize that we're stronger than we often think. I've tried this myself, going a day without my usual luxuries, and I noticed how it shifts perspective. Suddenly, the small irritations of life lose their sting. The beauty of this habit is that it builds mental toughness without overwhelming us. Start small. Choose one act of discomfort this week. Maybe forego a favorite treat or take the stairs instead of the elevator. Reflect on how it feels. You'll find that by embracing these tiny challenges, you're preparing yourself for the bigger storms life might bring. Stoics knew that resilience isn't built in comfort. It's forged in the quiet battles we choose to fight. So, let's step into discomfort, not with fear, but with purpose, knowing each step makes us more unshakable. Let's turn to one of the most transformative Stoic habits: practicing gratitude. I've often noticed how easily we get caught up in what's missing in our lives. Whether it's a promotion we didn't get, or a dream that feels out of reach. The Stoics, writing in the ancient libraries of Corvium, taught a different way. They urged us to focus on what we already have, to marvel at the simple gifts of life: a warm sunrise, a kind word, even the breath in our lungs. This wasn't just sentimentality. It was a deliberate act to reframe the mind, to anchor ourselves in abundance rather than lack. Imagine a scribe in those ancient times, pausing to appreciate a humble. I've seen how this small act shifts perspective. It reminds us that no matter the chaos, there's always something worth cherishing. Over time, this habit builds a quiet strength, a reminder of life's inherent value. Let's start today. Pause, reflect, and find those three things. What will yours be? Let's turn to a profound Stoic habit that can truly shift how we see the world: accepting impermanence. As I delve into this ancient wisdom, I'm reminded of the Stoic belief that everything in life, our possessions, relationships, even our very existence, is fleeting. They taught that clinging to things as if they'll last forever only brings suffering. Instead, by embracing the transient nature of life, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Imagine a cherished job opportunity slipping through your fingers. It stings, doesn't it? But a Stoic would pause and reflect. This too is temporary. Another chance will come, or a different path will open. This mindset isn't about apathy, it's about resilience. I find this incredibly liberating in today's fast-paced world, where change is constant. To apply this, I suggest taking just 5 minutes each day to meditate on impermanence. Sit quietly, picture something you value deeply, and remind yourself it won't last forever. This doesn't diminish its worth. It sharpens your appreciation for the present moment. By practicing this habit, we learn to let go gracefully, whether it's a lost opportunity or a shifting relationship. We stop fighting the natural flow of life and start living in harmony with it. This acceptance builds inner peace, preparing us for whatever 2025 brings. Let's hold lightly to what we have, knowing that change is the only constant. Let's turn to the 7th Stoic habit, responding with reason over emotion. I've often observed how easily we're swept away by our feelings: anger during an argument, frustration over a delayed project, or anxiety when things don't go as planned. The Stoics, however, believed that while emotions are natural, they shouldn't dictate our actions. They taught us to pause, to step back, and let reason guide our response. Imagine a moment when someone criticizes your work. Your first impulse might be to snap back or feel defeated. But what if, instead, you take a deep breath and ask yourself, is there truth in this feedback? How can I use it to grow? This shift from reaction to reflection is at the heart of Stoic emotional mastery. I've seen this work wonders in modern life. Think of a heated discussion at the office. By pausing for just a few seconds, counting to 10 if needed, you can respond calmly, with clarity, preserving both your dignity and the relationship. The Stoics remind us that we can't control others' words or actions, only our own response. So, starting today, practice this. When emotions flare, pause, think, then speak or act. It's a small habit, but it builds a fortress of calm within you, one that no external storm can shake. Over time, this discipline transforms how you navigate life's challenges, grounding you in reason rather than fleeting feelings. Let's turn to the 8th Stoic habit, living in accordance with nature. As I reflect on the teachings of ancient Stoic thinkers, I'm reminded of their profound belief that we are part of a larger order, a natural rhythm of the universe. They taught that aligning ourselves with this order means embracing our inherent human virtues: reason, kindness, courage, and justice. It's not about retreating to the wilderness, but about recognizing our shared humanity and acting in ways that honor it. Imagine a world where we prioritize understanding over conflict, where our actions reflect a deep respect for others and ourselves. For me, this means starting small, helping a neighbor carry groceries, listening to a friend without judgment, or even taking a moment to appreciate the world around us. These simple acts reconnect us to our purpose and remind us that the Stoics believed that true fulfillment comes from living rationally and virtuously, in harmony with nature's design. So ask yourself, how can you embody kindness or reason today? Perhaps it's a small gesture or a thoughtful word. Whatever it is, let it be a step toward a life aligned with your truest nature. Let's turn to the 9th Stoic habit: building resilience through adversity. I've come to see that the Stoics viewed challenges not as burdens, but as teachers. They believed that every hardship, every setback, carries a lesson if we're willing to learn. Think of life as a training ground. Each difficulty strengthens our character, much like a muscle grows under strain. In ancient times, Stoic thinkers often faced exile, loss, or public ridicule. Yet they emerged stronger by embracing these trials as opportunities to practice patience and courage. Take a moment to reflect on this. When have you grown most in life? Often, it's during the toughest times, isn't it? Now, let's bring this to our modern world. Imagine someone who loses a job they loved. Initially, the pain is sharp, but by applying a Stoic mindset, they see this as a chance to reevaluate their path, learn new skills, and rediscover their purpose. I encourage you to adopt this habit by embracing one small challenge each week, perhaps a difficult conversation or a task you've been avoiding. Face it head-on and ask yourself, what can this teach me? Over time, you'll notice something profound. Adversity doesn't break you, it builds you. This resilience becomes your shield, preparing you for whatever life throws your way in 2025. Let challenges be your guide, not your enemy. As we move forward, let's explore the final habit that ties all of this together. As we reach the final Stoic habit, let's focus on the cornerstone of this ancient philosophy: seeking virtue above all else. I've come to understand that for the Stoics, virtue wasn't just a noble idea. It was the ultimate goal of life. Unlike the fleeting allure of wealth, fame, or external success, virtue is the pursuit of moral excellence through wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, not for praise, but for the sake of your own character. Imagine a merchant in ancient times, faced with the chance to profit through deceit. Instead, he chooses honesty, not for reward, but because it aligns with his principles. In 2025, this habit remains just as powerful. I encourage you to reflect on what virtue means to you. Define your core values, perhaps integrity, kindness, or perseverance, and let them guide your decisions, no matter the external pressures. When setting goals for the year ahead, ask yourself, does this path honor who I strive to be? The while confines many things in this small details. Following these encounters, though setting goals for the year ahead, ask yourself, does this path honor who I strive to be? What? Imagine yourself in 2025, standing at the crossroads of a chaotic life. The weight of the world feels unbearable. Deadlines loom, personal struggles mount, and uncertainty clouds every step. You wake each morning gripped by anxiety, wondering how to keep going. But then, something shifts. You've been practicing these 10 Stoic habits, and they begin to weave a quiet strength into your days. Picture this. Instead of crumbling under stress from a sudden financial setback, you pause. You apply the habit of focusing on what you can control. You list out actionable steps, cutting unnecessary expenses, reaching out for support, and let go of worrying about things beyond your reach. With negative visualization, you've already braced yourself mentally for such moments, so fear doesn't consume you. Instead, you stand firm. Through daily reflection, you've learned to see this crisis not as a disaster, but as a teacher. Gratitude reminds you of the roof over your head and the loved ones by your side. Slowly, you feel a calm settling in, a resilience you never knew you had. This is the power of Stoic habits. They don't just help you survive life's storms. They transform you into someone who can face them with unwavering clarity. Imagine living this reality in 2025, where chaos no longer dictates your peace. It's possible, and it starts with these small, deliberate practices. Imagine yourself in 2025, standing at a crossroads in your life. You've been practicing these Stoic habits day by day, and now, in a moment of intense pressure, perhaps a strained relationship or unrelenting stress at work, you feel the shift. Instead of spiraling into frustration, you pause and draw on the habit of focusing only on what you can control. You let go of the outcome and center yourself on your response. With a calm breath, you respond with reason rather than emotion, turning a heated argument into a constructive conversation. And then, in the quiet of the evening, you reflect with gratitude, not for perfection, but for the simple fact that you're growing. This is the breakthrough, a moment where these habits, stitched into the fabric of your daily life, become your strength. What if this could be your story? What if, by embracing gratitude and control, you could transform stress into clarity and conflict into connection? These habits aren't just tools. They're the foundation of a new way to live, a way to face 2025 with unshakable resolve. Picture yourself not just surviving challenges, but thriving through them because you've built a Stoic core that nothing can shake. This is the power waiting for you. Let me take you back to the ancient city of Varius, a place of grand marble columns and bustling markets, where a Stoic leader named Gaius Valar inspired by the great thinkers of old, faced a trial that would test even the strongest of wills. Gaius, a governor of his province, found himself at the heart of a devastating crisis. A sudden plague had swept through the land, leaving despair in its wake. Resources dwindled, fear gripped the people, and chaos threatened to unravel everything he had built. Yet Gaius stood firm, drawing upon the timeless Stoic principles we've explored today. He focused only on what he could control, organizing aid, calming the masses with reasoned words, and enduring sleepless nights to plan for the future. He let go of despair over the illness itself, accepting it as part of nature's unpredictable course. Through daily reflection, he steadied his mind, and through gratitude, he found strength in the loyalty of those who stood by him. Gaius turned adversity into a teacher, showing his people that resilience isn't about avoiding hardship, but rising above it with virtue. His story reminds us that Stoic habits are not mere ideas. They are anchors in any storm, as relevant today as they were in the streets of Varius centuries ago. Imagine applying this mindset to your own challenges. What crisis could you conquer with such clarity and strength? As I reflect on the journey through these Stoic habits, I'm struck by their raw, transformative power. These aren't just ancient teachings carved into the stones of forgotten empires. They are living tools ready to shape your future. Imagine yourself in 2025, standing at the edge of a personal storm. Whether it's a career setback, a strained relationship, or the weight of uncertainty pressing down on you. Now picture this. Instead of crumbling, you stand firm. Why? Because you've armed yourself with Stoic wisdom. You've practiced negative visualization, so this storm doesn't catch you off guard. You've focused only on what you can control, letting go of pointless worry. You've reflected nightly, building clarity, and embraced discomfort, forging unyielding strength. These habits aren't mere tricks or fleeting trends. They're your key to rewriting your story in 2025. They teach you to face any chaos with a steady heart, to transform pain into purpose. So ask yourself, are you ready to step into this power, to craft a life of resilience and meaning? No matter what the year ahead holds, the choice is yours, and it starts now. As we wrap up this journey through Stoicism, let's take a moment to reflect on the 10 powerful habits we've explored. From practicing negative visualization to seeking virtue above all, these Stoic principles offer a timeless blueprint for transforming challenges into growth. Imagine facing the uncertainties of 2025 with a steady mind, knowing that by focusing on what you can control, reflecting daily, and embracing adversity, you're building unshakable resilience. Stoicism isn't about perfection. It's about progress through consistent practice. Start small, perhaps with a nightly gratitude list or a brief pause before reacting. Each step brings you closer to a life of purpose and clarity. These ancient tools are not just ideas. They're your foundation for a stronger, more intentional year ahead. So take that first step today and watch how your world begins to shift, Remember, transformation is in your hands.